I have something that I have been so excited to share with you. I got a van. This is my new plein air mobile so that I can go on day trips and some overnight trips for travel painting. This is a Ford Tornado Connect, and I'm not sure if they sell them in the US. I'm mostly going to be using her for day trips and not very many overnights, so I didn't need to have something that I could stand up in or that was going to be incredibly luxurious. If I lived in the US, I probably would want to get a larger van. But because I live in Devon, where the lanes are very narrow and it's very common to have two-way traffic on a one-lane road, this was as big as I felt comfortable going for now. I'd been looking at Ford Transit Connects and also Citroen Berlingos and some of the other small microvans that are pretty popular here in the UK. And I was pretty sure I wanted a Ford Transit Connect, but I was tallying the cost of having to do a conversion and put in windows and do all of those things when I discovered the Ford Tornado Connect. It's the same chassis and build as the Ford Transit, but this is the passenger van model. And that really appealed to me because a lot of the inside was already done. And like I said, if I was going to be going on long trips where I'd be spending several nights, I'd probably get more serious about insulation and some of those things. But I liked the idea of doing a no-build conversion or a very light conversion. So I went to have a look at these, and the thing that really sold me the first time I saw one in person was that it has windows all the way around that are very large, and it has a huge sky window in the roof. So I can open both doors and the hatch, and I feel like I'm in a cabin or a gazebo where I'm so close to nature and exposed to the outdoors. And so for me, that was it. This was the model that I wanted. So let's look inside. I want to take it on some excursions, and so I started by taking out the seats, and then I just put a rug down over the carpet to even out any little bumps that were still there. And I bought 2 little cot mattresses from IKEA that are really lightweight and were very affordable, and I decided I could just put them in different configurations, and it would help me get a sense for how I want to use this vehicle, what positions I'm most comfortable painting in. I live in England where it rains a lot. In fact, this past winter, we had record-breaking rainy days. And it's been difficult for me as somebody who loves plein air painting and also struggles with 6 autoimmune diseases. And 3 of them can cause me trouble on an almost daily basis. So it's not always easy to get the motivation to go outside and want to paint when it's cold and when it's rainy or when the weather is really bad. And so this van for me is a ticket to creative freedom. It's cozy and it's comfortable and it's like a little cabin on wheels. Or sometimes I call it my plein air mobile because I can go out plein air painting in it quite easily. I also live within an hour or 2 of some really beautiful places, and I just haven't really felt comfortable venturing that far in just a car. The stresses of having to sit up and not being able to move very much, not having a toilet, not having a little kitchenette, not having a little cot to rest on. All of those things were really sapping my energy. And so I have wanted a little van for about 10 years, long before van life became a hashtag on the internet. Although I'm really glad that it did become a hashtag because I've been watching videos for more than 10 years and I knew exactly the types of things that I wanted to include. So I'm going to show you a few things that I've added to make this very comfortable. This is what I'm considering a no-build build, meaning that nothing is permanently attached. Everything can move around. And I wanted it to be like that for now, because I'm not sure how I'm most going to want to paint. If I'm parked this way and the view is this way, then it's nice that I can open this door. But I also have the sliding door behind me that I can open if the view is in the other direction. And I also have a hatchback that opens, so even in rainy weather, I can open the back and be protected from the elements. So I want my build to be somewhat flexible. And by doing this easy and inexpensive no-build build and trying this out for a while, it's going to give me a better idea of exactly the type of configuration that I'm going to want. So I'll show you what I've got now. I deliberately have very few things in here right now. I have the 2 IKEA cots that at the moment are stacked but can also be separated, and just a few cushions that are stuffed with blankets and other cozy things on the inside. And I picked up these 2 boxes at one of the local stores where I get groceries. And they always have a stack of boxes that you can put your groceries in to leave. And I liked these 2 because this little folding table fit perfectly on top, and I can put different things inside on different trips depending on what I'm wanting to bring. The front seat is pretty luxurious for me because I've been driving a 2007 Volkswagen Golf, and before that I had a 2002. So the seats are actually really comfortable, much more comfortable than you would get in a Ford Transit regular van, because it is meant and built to be a passenger van. And the nice thing about this one is it's an automatic. I really didn't want a manual car, and so this was perfect. And the thing I really love is that it has seat heaters, which makes the drive feel so luxurious. I also have 2 cigarette lighters, one here and one in the back where I can charge things. And this is one of my favorite features. I love that it has this huge hatchback that creates an awning. And one of my ideas for something that I might want to do is have one of those drawer units or even just a platform that I can pull out and be able to cook a meal, but mostly be able to paint what I see even when it's raining, because this will protect me from the rain. And for oil painting, that's really fantastic. I can always set up a travel easel, but it would be a lot easier to have something that pulls out and is already kitted for painting. And it would be easier to put things away as well. So here's how I have the cots right now, and I'll show you why. When I first looked at the van, even before I took the seats out, I really enjoyed sitting in the back here. And I thought if I just had a pillow and could kick my feet up, I mean, it's like being at home in bed or on your couch. Like, who wouldn't want to paint in this situation? So it's perfect for this. Obviously, it's not a really big van, so I wouldn't be able to take naps this way. And that's why I got the second cot, because I thought maybe I could maneuver it or angle it or pull it out that way to make it a little bit longer so I could sleep the other way, or even just have a bench seat the other way. So let me show you what that looks like. And this is how it looks when I set it up in the other direction with the bench seat along the side. And the next time I go out painting, I'm going to try it in this position because I think I might prefer it. And I also like that even though it's short, I do have more floor space. So if I wanted to stretch out and lie down a bit, I could still do that. And I could still sit across the back and put some cushions under my feet. Let me know in the comments any ideas that you have. I would really love to hear them. I'm simulating painting here, but this is really comfortable and it does give me so many more options. So I think I'm going to prefer it in this position. I'll be doing an updated tour as I get more acquainted with this and using it and start to build more permanent things. The first thing that I have tucked over here is my Peg&Awl Scout Pochade Box. And this is good for both watercolor and oils. And I have taken this out to use in the van. And it was such a lovely day. And then it's very easy just to take into my studio after a painting session. It doesn't live in the van full time, and it probably never will, simply because I like to keep it in the studio and take good care of it, because for me, this is an heirloom piece. I'm the kind of person who loves sitting on the floor and stretching, so I didn't want a build that was going to completely obliterate the floor space. So for now, I just have this little foldable tray table. And a nice thing about this is that I can put it up here and I can use it for art supplies or for having a little meal. And then, like I said, I have these boxes. This one's empty right now. And in this one, I have one of my art messenger boxes that has lots of different supplies in it. And this is something that I can leave in here so that anytime I go out, I know that I have a certain amount of supplies. And then I also have a heating pad because I have chronic pain and pretty bad arthritis. And so a lot of times when I'm out painting, especially in winter, I just really start to hurt. And I feel like if I could only have 10 minutes to lay down on my heating pad and have a warm cup of tea, I would feel restored and rejuvenated enough to finish my painting or to drive home if I'm far away. So this will definitely need a permanent place somewhere, and I could easily just put it in one of these pillows. Right now I have blankets and a couple sweatshirts in here in case I get cold, so I could easily put this in as well. And now I have a lot of floor space, so I can just stretch or move around and get to different things. I also love the fact that I can easily crawl through from the front, and that was something in my Volkswagen that I really couldn't do. And plus the back seat was pretty small, so I was more or less confined to the front seat when I painted in my car. I also have an art bag that I bring with me every time I go out, and I'll just fill this with different things in my studio depending on my mood and what I feel like painting at any given time. So this too can go anywhere. And behind the seats, I have a few special things that make everything that I've just talked about possible. So let me show you those. For now, I have a couple of these bags. This one holds things for my dog. So some treats, a lead, some doggy bags, some air freshener spray for making the van smell nice if it doesn't. And then this one is more cleaning supplies and also an extra lead for charging my phone. So I just have some tissues and different antibacterial and wet wipes. These are really helpful to have when you're painting outside. And then down here, I have a hat for painting outside and a couple of bags. I can also rotate these around to the front if I want. And there are these little tables on the back of each of the front seats, and you can pull it up and get a little side table with the space for your drink or your water cup for painting. For now, there's a space between the back seats and the floor that's recessed, and I've put a few things in here that are total game changers for me. This little bag used to be in the back of my Golf. It just has some extra paper towels, a rain jacket, some hats and gloves, an umbrella, some extra clips and extra water, and a little folding mat to protect me from wet surfaces when I'm painting outside. Next, I have this little cooler. Because I'm mostly just going on day trips, I didn't need anything very large or that would plug in and be permanent. And I found this one on Facebook Marketplace. It was pretty much brand new. And on the inside, it has a freezer pack that I replenish before I go out. And I can put different snacks on the inside. Right now, I just have some grapes. I try to eat healthfully, and I like to make my own food. So it's nice to be able to bring healthy food with me. Would you like one? In this open space between the seats, I have a little water bowl for Poppy, a little water bottle for extra water, and a jar full of some of her favorite treats. And this is what makes it all possible. I can leave this in that area, or I can move it around because it has this convenient handle. And what it is a portable power station. And let me tell you, this makes my van feel as comfortable as my home. It has 2 AC outputs. I love that I can plug in my heating pad. I could also plug in a kettle for making tea. And it has a wireless charging output on the top, so you can just lay your phone on top and it will charge. Or if you have more than one device, you can plug it in and charge it this way. I have my phone and my heating pad plugged in right now, and it's only pulling anywhere from 20 to 40 watts. To be honest, I don't really know that much about power stations, but the thing I love about the Bluetti is I don't really need to. They've made it so simple to use and so efficient, and I can charge it lots of different ways. I thoroughly researched all of the different portable power stations, and the Bluetti was consistently one of the highest rated ones. So for me, it was a no-brainer. As soon as I got the van, I reached out to the company and asked them, begged them really, if they wanted to collaborate with me. And I'm very lucky that they said yes and sent this to me. When it runs out of a charge, there are 3 different ways that I can charge it up. I basically plug this in over here to the input section. And then into here, I have one of 3 plugs that I can put in it. This one is for when I want to take it in my house and plug it into the wall and charge it up that way. And it'll take only a couple hours and be fully loaded. The second way is to plug it into one of the 12-volt sockets that I have in my car, and it will charge as I'm driving. And conveniently, I have a 12-volt socket right here next to where I keep the Bluetti. And then the third way is for if I want to charge it up with solar panels. And Bluetti also sent me these amazing portable solar panels that are so clever. They have this handle so you can carry them easily, and then they open up and you can put them on the ground or on top of your car or on the hood of your car, any place that it's sunny, and it will charge up the Bluetti. I'll probably be lazy most of the time and just bring it in after I've used it and plug it into the wall at my house. But when I'm traveling, I'll be using the 12-volt and the solar panels hands down. And I love the fact that I can also take this up to my tiny house, which has no electricity or water or any of those amenities. It's just literally a little off-grid cottage at the top of our garden. And I can use it up there as well. I have plans for this to try and see if I can plug in different portable heaters in the winter or even an electric blanket, so that when I'm painting in the car, I'm really comfortable, even on the worst of winter days. And I also plan to be able to plug in a kettle and make myself a cup of tea. I'm still looking for the perfect kettle to buy. I may try to get one that is a 12-volt, but I haven't decided. So stay tuned to see more about how I get on with this. The other thing that I'm most excited about, and that makes this van a whole different arena for me in terms of being able to go on travel adventures, is hidden beneath this rug. This is the Trelino Portable Composting Toilet. If you're somebody who likes to go hiking or on day trips, or if you like plein air painting, you'll know that finding a bathroom is not always an easy thing. And I know people use shovels and go into nature, but a lot of the places I like to paint are so beautiful and untouched that I don't really feel comfortable doing that. And I don't even know if it's allowed, to be honest. If I go to the moors or the beach, I'm not going to want to dig a hole. And also, public toilets are not always easy to find in the UK, and I don't really like public toilets. So for years, I had lots of little makeshift things I did, and it all worked, but it was incredibly cumbersome, uncomfortable, unwieldy, and just difficult. And I know it's sort of a weird thing to talk about on an art channel, but I like to have the freedom to go out painting anywhere I want, and I don't want to be hindered from doing that because I might have to go to the bathroom and not be able to. And it's really awful if you're in the middle of a painting, especially if you're set up someplace sort of remote and you have to go to the bathroom and there are people around and there are no public toilets around. So your only recourse really is to pack everything up, find a bathroom, trudge everything with you, bring it back when you're finished, and it's just such a pain in the neck. So this is awesome. The windows on my van are tinted, so it's pretty usable right now, but I will be getting some kind of window coverings to make it more private. Now, I know a lot of people have said just get a cassette toilet, but I don't like cassette toilets. I don't like the idea of messing with chemicals. I don't like the idea of everything being mixed together. And I really believe that composting toilets are the best option. So let me show you really quickly how it works. This is the Trelino Evo Small. It's made in Germany and in fact has won awards for best design. It has a handle on each side so you can easily move it around. I love the profile. This color is anthracite. They also make it in white, but I liked the way that this looks like it could just be a cooler. Most people aren't going to know what this is. It's like having a comfortable little toilet in your vehicle. So you open the lid and then you have a place where you can sit, and there's a place for number 1 in the front and number 2 in the back. And let's face it, most of the time people just need to have a wee when they're going to the bathroom. So you can remove this plug, which is optional, but I just liked the thought of having it in there. And you sit on the potty and you go number 1. I store the toilet paper in the back. And then if you have to do your serious business, that goes into the back. And you can put something on top of it, like a composting material or pine chips or sawdust. There are lots of different things. And if you cover it up, it takes care of any odor, much the way that kitty litter does for cats. It also has a soft close lid. And let me show you how you dispose of things. So you take the lid off And then on the inside, you have two compartments. This is your container for your number one. And you can see that it has this rubber thing so that the liquids don't come out. But it also comes with a separate lid that you can put on it for transporting it. And so when it's full, I can just take it inside to a toilet and dump it in there, or I could dump it at a dumping station if I was camping. For me, I clean it after every van trip, which for me is usually just a day trip. I don't need to, but I just like knowing that it's always clean and empty. And then your number two goes in this little bucket, and it's lined with bags so that you can cover it up with some kind of composting or sawdust, or you can just bag it up and throw it away the same way you would with your dogs or your baby's diapers. I've not had to use this back portion yet, but if and when I do, I plan to dispose of it after every use. So there's always one of these clean bags that is lining it, and I keep the extras in here. And so keeping the loo roll inside of here ensures that it's always clean. And then I take it out every time I need to use it. When I've used it, I have a little water bottle. It's half filled with vinegar and water. And so after I use it, I take that little water bottle and swirl it around on the outside and then wipe it off with a cloth, and it keeps things really sterile and fresh. I'm inside now and it's later in the day, and I love how bright everything still is. This is about the level of brightness that you would get on a winter day when it's raining. And I'm surrounded by all of these windows. Even if it was chucking down rain and I had all of the windows and doors closed, I still have wonderful views. And this roof window lets in so much light. I've just taken a few of the pillows and put them here to sort of extend the reach of the mattress, and put another few on this side. And I can lay down now and completely stretch out. And I have this cheerful view. And it just feels so cozy and so creative. And it's a nice escape from all of the chores of my house and my huge to-do list that is never ending. I hope you all have a beautiful day with many happy painting adventures of your own.